Monday, November the 23rd. Welcome to Coffee Talk. I'm WESH 2 First Warning Meteorologist Eric Burris. We get together 7 days a week, try to get your day started off on the right note. Hopefully, you've got a little bit of sunshine out your window. If not, I just know that you live in our northern spots. But we've got ourselves a temperature roller coaster this week. Take a look at where we are headed. Temperatures are going to be hanging out in the mid 80s today, tomorrow, Tuesday, even into Wednesday. And then by Black Friday, we drop off into the lower range of the 70s. There is definitely a change going on. But first, let's discuss the top stories that we are tracking this morning on Coffee Talk. It is the same as the last couple of days. We've got travel, we've got that cold front, and could there be something in the tropics? We're going to look at the models in just a little bit. We're going to do so with no hype. And, I was even trying to figure out, should I even mention it? And then I'm like, I'm going to always be fully transparent with y'all on the data because you're going to probably start to see some of the hypers talking about it. And at least here we can do it in a contextual manner. And that matters. You know what I mean? Seriously. So, anyway, all right, let's talk. Dawn says it's very foggy here in Lady Lake. Yes, there's definitely some areas that we're dealing with fog. Let me take you up to the Marion County. Chris says tropics 18, so I know. Let me take you up to the Marion County Emergency Operations Center, a low cloud deck here. Let's look at some of our other tower cams around town. And, it just depends on where you are, right? Essentially, north of town. Look at the Orlando International Airport on the bottom left. You don't see the tower because there's a definitive line where some fog has settled in. Tavares, you can't see across Lake Dora. Daytona Beach, it's 68 degrees there and a little bit of haze. It really does just depend on where you're located. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's tap into our tower cam network here. And downtown Orlando's looking good, but let me go up to Ocala and let that load, do its RTSP handshake, da 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 da. And there's definitely some fog. So it just kind of depends on where you are. I will mention though that visibilities have been around a quarter mile, half mile in Marion County for most of the morning. It has now come up to 3 miles. But that just means that the fog has kind of shuffled around a little bit. Daytona Beach visibility is at 2 miles, 1 mile in DeLand. A quarter mile visibility there in Leesburg, about a quarter mile visibility in Wildwood. So there's definitely a ribbon north of town. And when we look at the fog tracker, this is something we can only use at night. So now that the sun has started to come up, we've not been able to really dial into it anymore. But the last few frames show that low cloud deck kind of sneaking into Leesburg, sneaking into the villages, sneaking into Bushnell, just north of Sanford, just north of DeLand. This is a version an ABI of the GOES 16 satellite, which allows us to look through the clouds and get into super low level stuff. This is how we can really track where fog is moving. So we've got you covered with it. Otherwise, through the day today, we are going for a beautiful day. I mean, it's going to be a gorgeous, gorgeous day, right? So, how does that play out? So, this morning, yeah, we've got a little bit of fog, we've got a little bit of that cloud cover. We'll see some more sunshine around 9, 10, 11 o'clock. And then we'll start to work more into a mostly cloudy sky and even get ourselves a few passing showers, right? Look at that, a 10% coverage of rain. Now, it's not a ton, but it's enough that I at least want to make mention of it. So let's do this. Let's dial up our future cast for today. And notice this morning, I'm going to bring it full screen. You can see the low clouds on Futurecast in those northern spots. 11, 12 o'clock, more sun shines. And then by 2, 3 o'clock, more clouds start to form, even a few passing showers. This is not a big deal, but there will be a few showers I want to make sure you're at least aware of today, okay? This is all thanks to a weak cold front. Here, let me show it to you in a different way. Weak cold front. Basically, what that weak cold front is doing is it's moving through and it's going to set us up to be able to get our next cold front in. But it's also going to be setting up a wind shift that will be a sufficient enough wind shift to see a few passing showers in our coastal communities the next couple of days. So when we look at the 7 day forecast, let's start with our inland spots, and we notice that that opportunity for rain is there today. 10% coverage of passing showers. Okay. Notice our next chance of rain across the inland spots isn't again until Thursday with a 20% coverage of a few passing showers. So we're looking pretty good. And then we're going to get to that temperature change in a minute, but let's look at the coastal 7 day forecast and notice the coastal 7 day forecast keeps showers in the forecast Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Not a ton, just a couple of those passing showers, right? Now back to the temperatures. Watch Wednesday 82 along the coast, Thursday 73, Friday 69, right? Inland spots, same idea. Big temperature shift. So that's because there's another cold front moving through. So here, it's a busy morning in the coffee talk department, right? So there's the weak front, does its thing, da 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 da. High pressure builds in across the eastern seaboard. We're going to be heating up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but there's that next cold front Tuesday into Wednesday. It approaches us, and then we will get that colder air diving into our area. And not just us, I mean, the entire eastern seaboard will be getting it, but it will help to make that transition for us. So for Thanksgiving Day, thinking of Thanksgiving Day as the changeover, right? The transition day where we're turning cooler. A few showers, lunchtime temperatures in the mid 70s. So we wake up to the 60s, climb up to the 70s, and then we'll drop off a little bit from there. Chris is asking, what's the icon on Wednesday, Earth Day? It's not, it's clearly not Earth Day. It's not April. I did that for travel. If it's stupid, oh well, that's what I did. I don't have an airplane that I liked. So that's kind of where we're at, my friends. Couple of passing showers. We can definitely handle a couple of passing showers. Doesn't look like anything too strong. We're going to be doing just fine, right? And then in terms of the holiday forecast, it is going to be a noticeably cooler holiday, right? 75 on Thanksgiving, 71 on Black Friday, and 75 on Saturday. Charles says looks like it's going to be chilly. We're headed up to Charleston for Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's going to be chilly. Yep. A little chilly up that way. Just just a little bit chilly. Right? All right, let's look at some of the raw model data just to kind of share some of the temperatures. All right, we'll start off with the American GFS model. And I want you to notice a couple of things here. First off, GFS model showing that drop off in temperatures. Yeah, for Thanksgiving, looking great. Morning lows. The GFS is not going polar. I'm sure we'll eventually make some tweaks. The GFS is also showing the first couple days it's trying to zero in on another cold front. Euro definitely has that second cold front more prevalent in there, right? Notice Thursday, Thanksgiving 72. The Euro is going with a low temperature of 51 in Orlando on Black Friday. Now, again, this is raw model data. Treat it as raw. This is one run of one model, so don't treat it as, guidance, not gospel. Okay, remember that's what computer models are. But notice the trend again there. December 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, the European trying to dial that in. So the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, somewhere in there, Euro showing it. GFS trying to sniff something out. It hasn't quite gotten there, but you get the idea. The models are they're starting to key in on another front. So that's good. We'll get there, hopefully, right? All right. So, before we move on, questions, comments, concerns about where we're at. Questions, comments, concerns. Do you have an icon of luggage? I don't, I don't have it made. I'm sure I could get it made. We'll get it made. But for today, is it made? No. Oh, I need to change this background from the sunrise background. Hold on. To the day background. Stand by. Hit this button. There we go. Because the sun's up. We don't need the early morning background anymore. Right? This just works for this. All right. Where were we? Let's see here. Kira's asking, any word on the last several runs from the GFS showing trop? We're getting there, Kira. Slow down. Slow down. We're getting there. I'll show it. Okay. But I've got to ask and make sure everybody's good with our local forecast before we go talking tropics for a Thanksgiving week. I Gewaltismeer. All right, we're good. It doesn't seem like anybody's got other questions, so okay, we'll move on to the tropics. This is one of those things I saw it yesterday and I didn't even make mention of it because no. First off, I need to point out there is nothing going on in the open Atlantic basin, which includes the Gulf, the Caribbean, or the open Atlantic. Galen's asking, I'm in the DC area for Thanksgiving. Is there a Hearst station in DC? No, we have one in Baltimore, but not in DC. Although Doug Kammerer at NBC4 in DC was a Central Florida meteorologist for years, so that would be who I would watch if I was in DC for Thanksgiving. Diane says holding out on us. No, it's just you'll see. All right, now we can get into the tropics. So, nothing going on, nothing expected to develop over the next 7 days' time. That said, here we are. All right, this is what we showed during hurricane season. We're still technically in hurricane season, so okay, I suppose that I'll show it. All right, so what we're looking at here is sea level, mean sea level pressure normalized anomaly. Basically, high pressure and low pressure anomalies. So, we'll go right through. Watch around the southern Caribbean. This is Monday morning, December the 1st. GFS is like, all right, I don't care that it's the equator. We'll throw something together. All right, that's December 6th. Now, I'm showing one run of one model, except I'm going to go back a model run, and it was stronger, but still doing its thing. Let's go back two model runs. Still there. Going to Louisiana this time. Three model runs. Kind of there, but not. Okay, so one model, the GFS, has decided, all right, I don't care if it's December. We're going to try and do something. All right, I hate that. Let's look at the deterministic European. We'll just roll through time. 6Z doesn't go far enough out, so we got to go to the 0Z. Notice nothing. I mean, it's got like a little low forming out east, but no. Notice nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. Let's go to the 12Z. It's got an area of low pressure from the Gulf up, but nothing significant. All right, great. Let's look at the Euro AI deterministic. 6E. It's got like a frontal boundary around the first second, but no tropical deals. Love that. Let's see here. We'll go to the 0Z. Nah, not really. Okay, so what's the takeaway? The takeaway is we should go look at some ensembles. Always look at the ensembles. When in these moments, you always look at the ensembles. GFS ensemble. More than likely, you would think that this is going to try and show some stuff. Couple lows down there. Over near the Bay of Campeche. I mean, the GFS ensembles, they're not all showing something, but the GFS ensembles are at least waking up, showing something. Tara says the GFS is drunk again. Kinda. I would add, and when I mentioned this to Lindsay, she was shocked. There has been a named storm every month of the calendar year. I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but names can happen. All right, that's the GFS ensemble. Let's look at the European ensemble. Eh, maybe, maybe a couple of somethings. Nothing like the GFS though. which is good. All right, Euro AI ensemble. There are some members of the Euro AI ensemble, like two, showing something. Okay. And I would add that there were some members yesterday of the Google DeepMind model that were also showing this. So, is Burris hyping? No, absolutely not hyping. Wait, can I get the Google DeepMind on here? I always misplace it. Tropics, where's the Google DeepMind? Do I have that here? Did Tomer put it on his website? I'm looking. I don't think I see it here. Yeah. So anyway, the DeepMind had it. So I don't know if anybody's like showing this. I haven't seen much hype about it, but I always want to at least have it mentioned on Coffee Talk because this is a place where we can go over some things and we can moreover chat about it with perspective. And meteorologically, computer models are guidance, not gospel. And there are meteorologists, I've said this for a while, and I feel like it's just getting worse and worse. There are actual meteorologists that'll post something scary and be like, could happen, hurricane in December. Like, I kid you not, you're going to probably see that. Some moron who went to school for this is going to do that. Don't trust it without context. And don't trust somebody that's just like, could happen. We have to have this. That's why this is a great venue to be able to actually sit there and talk together. Could it happen? Sure. It could snow tomorrow in Florida too. That could happen. Is it going to happen? No. So, anyway, I wanted to show it. We'll see. Water temperatures have cooled a bit. Let's swap over and look at some of the water temperatures. 80 degrees is your magic number for tropical development. So give me a few seconds. Let me hit a couple buttons here. Sea surface temperatures, down in the Caribbean. Obviously, our water temperatures are warmer in the Caribbean than here. It's warm enough for tropical development. You know, hurricane could happen. Shush. Social media has ruined my profession, I genuinely feel like, because these people that are trying to get those clicks are going to post the scariest stuff. You know what I mean? So anyway, we'll watch. We'll let you know. Diane says, if no crazies out there hype it, is it really a thing? Like if a tree falls in the woods but nobody hears it? Yeah. I haven't seen much hype from it yet, which I'm grateful for. Maybe the hype machine has quieted down. Maybe. Tropical snow cane is all I want for Christmas. We have that, right? Oh man. Good gravy. All right. So anyway, yeah, busy morning. We've got a little bit of fog, we got a little bit of this, we got a little bit of that. But the big story continues to be a nice cool front moving in for Thanksgiving. And after that, the models, listen, GFS is going to do the GFS things. We'll continue to track it. Right? Right? All right. Questions, comments, concerns? Anything? You good? I'm good. Terry, am I concerned? No. Are you concerned? We good? I think we're good. Want a hippopotamus would be better. Ay vey. Mary says, I'm trusting you. Hey, listen, I will always let you know when you need to know stuff. Computer models are guidance, not gospel. So we'll continue to follow this. Kira's asking, how accurate is the GFS really? Seems like it's always way out there. Models, some are better. Some are better. And it's like when one gets updated, it gets better, and then another gets updated, and it's a little grumpy or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? When are the showers for today? It's going to be more like late afternoon, evening for the couple of passing showers. Nothing too bad. All right. Betty says we need a rain dance. We're in the dry season. However, this has been particularly dry of a dry season already. So, yeah, we definitely need some showers. We're not going to get a ton. Oh, well. Oliver, I am serious. And stop calling me Shirley. Thank you. Good reference. All right, people, that's all I got. I've got 3 minutes, 38 seconds until a Today Show cut in. So let's go do the things. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you right here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for Coffee Talk. I'll see you in a couple of minutes for a Today Show cut in. I'll see you at 9 a.m. for Western News Sunrise. We've got one additional hour. And then tomorrow morning, dark and early, at 4:30 a.m. Chris says Gulf storm system on December 4th through 6th BSR. Oh, yeah? We'll have to revisit the BSR tomorrow, I guess. Could it be tropical or not tropical? We'll see. All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. I'll see y'all later. Bye.